So I'm going to be brutally honest, guys. I'm not okay. It's okay to not be okay. Um, it's just a lot of grief. Um, my sidekick of 15 years crossed the Rainbow Bridge today, and it was so unexpected. My heart is shattered. When we lost Finn, we were ready. I mean, as ready as you can ever be, obviously, because we knew his time was coming. But with baby, went from a UTI 10 days ago to an advanced kidney infection that the doctor said she likely, even with treatment, would not survive. She was basically in renal failure. So, she passed with her head in my hand. And it was so quick, and I feel hollow. And I'll get through this eventually. But sometimes you gotta be real, sometimes you gotta be authentic, and this is one of those moments. She's been with me for 15 years. She picked me. I was looking for a cat. I was thinking a kitten. I walked into the pet store. I was gonna stock up on stuff, at least, get a litter box and dishes and stuff. So I was ready, and I walked in, and there she was sitting in the top cage, staring at me with those big blue eyes. And I went in and I spent some time with her. There was another family that was interested in her. So I thought, you know what, I'll step back, see if they, if they decide they want her. And I'm going to go to a different pet store, see if I can find a kitten. Because I wasn't really looking for an older cat. I mean, she was only 3.5, so she was still really a kitten. But when I went to the other pet store, and all they had were ginger, long-haired boys, which was not what I was looking for. It's not to be racist against ginger cats. It's just I wasn't looking for a male cat, so I didn't want a ginger kitten male at that point in time. So I went back to see if she was still there, and I deliberately walked in the store and walked away from where the cats were, and walked around the end of the shelf, the end of that end cap, and she was sitting in that top cage just staring at me. And I'm like, okay, little mama, you're going home with me. And her name was AJ when I adopted her. She was 3.5. She'd been surrendered by her family because they fell on hard times. It was December 28th of 2008. So right around the time the economy crapped the bed, so people were losing their homes, and if you've lost everything, you don't have enough for a $200 pet deposit and all the other stuff that goes with an apartment or a rental. So I can kind of understand it. She was already spayed. She was up to date on her shots and everything. So I brought her home. She threw up in her carrier on the way home. Not a surprise. To the second to the last visit to the vet, every time she would get in the carrier to go somewhere, she would throw up on the drive, except when we moved from the old house to the new house. This morning, when we were trying to get her to eat, she buried her face in my neck like, no, you're not going to make me open my mouth. And after we got her to eat something, she just laid her head on my shoulder and purred. And she was mad because she'd growl every time I'd pet her, but I think part of that was because she was in pain. But she's gone. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. I know it was the right decision because I didn't want her to suffer through a treatment that wasn't going to do her any good. But it was hard. Way harder than it was with Finn. So guys, I'm not okay. I will be eventually, but right now I'm not. So just know that it's okay to not be okay. And to give your grief space and your pain and everything. Because it needs that space. She knew she was loved. More than anything, she knew she was loved. And she always will be. So take care of yourselves, guys. Give yourself space. Give yourself quiet. Today's not about strawberries. Nope, it's about the dark pit of the plum. Be well. Love yourselves. Take care.